those of you that have seen my talk in RiseUp over the last 4 years that I've been here, you've heard some iteration of why it's important to support female-led businesses, female entrepreneurs, and female investors. So I feel like this topic is actually pretty boring at this point, right? And not only that, I feel like I'm going to be telling you things that you might already know. But to be courteous, I'm going to be giving you about 4 to 5 slides on this. And then I just wrote my own thing. So, the biggest question that comes up when you talk about women in entrepreneurship or women in the Middle East ecosystem is usually, where is the funding, right? And I feel like this is a question that all entrepreneurs ask themselves every day. Where's the funding? Where's the money? Where am I getting my capital from? But it's especially poignant when you're looking at female-led startups. So female-led startups were only about 14% of all the venture deals that were done in the Middle East last year. Let that sink in. 14%. What that really signifies is about 2% or 4%, sorry, of the actual funding dollars. So those 14% deals only represent such a small amount of capital. For some reason, by having a single woman on your founding team, you are lowering the likelihood of you getting funding. And what is this associated to? So, especially when I talk to young people in our generation, the first thing I get is, but I'm not sexist. I don't judge people that way. When I talk to investors, they tell me, but we have no bias. We don't judge women. We look at men and women exactly the same. And it's that exact belief system that is damaging to women entrepreneurs in the region. Because you don't acknowledge the systems that have created these biases, you're not able to solve for the opposite. So there are two things. The first is a subconscious bias. The second is an association bias. So the subconscious bias is something that you're clearly not aware of on the lower end, where you might be looking at a person and you might just maybe associate them in a different way. The association bias looks at the fact that this is what we are told a successful entrepreneur looks like. And women, when you ask them, what is your business idol, will often very much struggle to find a female business owner and a female role model to look after, because this is what the press propagates. And so investors, if they're standing and they're faced with two entrepreneurs, one that looks like some version of this, some version of vanilla, okay, and another that looks like me or Zainab or Amira, they're going to say, I don't know why, but I feel deep down that the white guy is the better pick. I don't know why. It could be also that it's their own subconscious bias. Most investors are white males. Therefore, when they're looking to invest, they are going to look at a version of themselves reflected back at them. However, when you invest in female-led companies, you see that they actually perform better. They perform better, 35% higher returns and about 12% higher revenues than all male teams. And it's not because women are magical, beautiful unicorns, which they are, but it is because diversity wins. You are an innovation. And in order to be an innovation, you have to think differently and you have to think creatively. And when you want to think differently, you need different opinions, different expectations, different life experiences, different perspectives around the table. And the way that that works is women don't always work in all women teams. Women tend to hire men and women, whereas men will hire from their networks immediately, which tends to be men. And so therefore, when you're looking at a business in the Middle East, for example, diversity will win. We will be more innovative than some guys coming out of Harvard because they're all white guys from Connecticut that essentially had the same life experience. They're not necessarily going to be seeing the world through the eyes of Middle Easterners, right? And through the eyes of people that are disadvantaged. So, essentially, I know you're not sexist. I know we're all wonderful people, but we all have subconscious and association biases. And so you have to become aware of those biases and you have to mitigate them. You have to make sure that you overcome them. Once you do that, you get richer, the businesses do better, the world becomes a much better place. Got it? I was lost. I was very lost. Not when I started womena, but when I was building it. In order to succeed, you must first fail. How many of us have heard that? Put your hand up, say aye. Thank you. Okay. I heard this over and over and over again. And Omar Noor said it yesterday in his talk. I think actually a big chunk of his talk was about how you have to fail in order to succeed. Now the problem is this, is if you as a founder have not yet failed, then you start freaking out about when the hell am I going to fail? When is this happening? Oh my God, it's looming. And in my eyes, when I started womena, I hadn't seen a failure yet. I just kept waiting for this thing to happen and everything was going to collapse. But the truth is, it's all about your perspective. So those of you that have been following womena for a long time, you saw something that looked like this over the years, all right? We got magazine covers, we got awards, we had numbers that seemed really nice, everything was fancy, the recognition was through the roof. But in reality, our business model was a flop. It was a flop. It was a facade. Our business model was relied on three things. We relied on in-the-moment membership fees from our investors. We relied on them to be making lots of deals in large amounts frequently. And then we relied on the fact that those deals would exit quickly. And that's how womena, in its first version as an angel network, was expecting to make money. None of those assumptions came through. Turns out that the average time for an exit in the Middle East is 7 to 10 years. Turns out that women investors are risk averse, and so they were investing very small amounts, very infrequently. And it turns out that rich people in the GCC don't really want to pay for stuff. So the membership didn't really work out for them. So when this wasn't working out, I was exhausted. I was tired, I was scared, I was nervous, and my co-founder relationship was toxic. So everything was going wrong. And I didn't know what to do because on paper, and when I would come talk at RiseUp, everything was lovely and I was passionate about what I was doing. But the business model behind it was not working out. And my co-founder dynamics were not working out. I was failing. But I didn't stop. So this is a beach in the south of France in a town called Marseille. And I was lucky enough to be taken there by some friends on one weekend. Okay, we climbed some rocks, we got to a bit of a secluded area, and they decided to jump in. And we started racing to who would get the furthest before giving up. So I jumped in, and the water, you guys, was freezing. You think last night was cold? The water that I jumped into was freaking ridiculous. I couldn't handle it. Like, it was nuts. But I felt when my head came out of the water, the burning, tingling sensation on my skin, I felt like I had just come through an awakening. It was the breath of fresh air that I needed. It was this slap in the face of realization that I needed. And that was that I was not doing anything for myself. I was in a business model. I was in a company where I compromised on the vision of the business for a co-founder. That was not working out, so the co-founder had just left. And I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not necessarily a pure finance person. I wanted to do more. So I had to figure out, how can I give it my all? I had this company and this name and this something, this purpose. I didn't know what it was yet, but I knew that if everything was failing, I had to give it my all. And I had to be true. Because if I wanted to keep pretending to be like those corporate investors, then I was slowly sucking the soul out of myself. And so I looked at the opportunities that were available to me. And I refused to accept a stamp of failure as a finite truth. So I thought about, what do I want? And what I wanted, really, what I was passionate about, was changing the perceptions of women and changing the perceptions of women in the Middle East and changing the perceptions of youth in the Middle East. And you guys know as well as I do that we get a bit of a bad rep internationally, and it's such ridiculous nonsense that we need to tell our own stories. I also wanted to smash the patriarchy. Yeah, I saw you put your hand up there, and I appreciate it because let me quickly iterate what the patriarchy is. When I say the patriarchy, it is a system. It is not men. The patriarchy is not men. Everybody loves men. We all work together. It's a big one happy family. The patriarchy is that system of subconscious and unconscious biases that dictate a disproportionate representation or a disproportionate level of access to opportunities for women. So essentially, I wanted to change the perceptions of women, and I wanted to change the perceptions of the region, and I wanted to give equal opportunity to the people here to be successful and to give change a chance. So what did I do? I went back to Dubai to a team that was scared that I had disappeared. They saw a slow spiraling of the founding team, and some of them, contemplated leaving, but they at least gave me till the end of the summer. And when I came back, I said, guys, I figured it out. I was trying to change the region in the most roundabout way. I wanted to change perceptions of women by empowering investors to invest in companies that may have a female founder so that those companies could get recognition and those female founders could become role models and those role models could change perceptions. But what we realized was I could just take a photo of one of you and show it to somebody who has this misconception of us, and their prejudice would immediately be confronted with the truth. And that was way easier. So we launched Womena Media. And Womena Media is focused on storytelling, on finding the women that we saw every day around us and telling their stories in an engaging way to challenge the misconceptions of the region. Within my team, we had 2 people very passionate about entrepreneur education. And so we decided, hey, why don't we launch an accelerator? Turns out when I was starting out, I got wrong advice. I made every mistake in the book, every mistake in my business model, every mistake in validating the business model. I made every mistake with my co-founder. I made every mistake with investors. I made every mistake, but all of those mistakes were based on guidance that was wrong for us. The guidance came from established entrepreneurs who were experienced in the West or established male entrepreneurs in the Middle East. They were not based on the experience of the women who were successful around us. And so at Womena, where most of our team are entrepreneurs from the region, we built our own accelerator. So that same year, we launched Momentum. And then we realized, man, we've got all these entrepreneurs and we've got all these investors. And the connections that we were making with the angel network were so slow, but we knew we could do it faster. So we decided to group everyone together. Not just the investors with the investors and the entrepreneurs with the entrepreneurs, but everybody could come together under one house. And that became Womena Boss Ladies. And so in 1 year, I came back and we completely pivoted. We pivoted and I pivoted personally. And Womena experimented and I experimented. And we figured it out. We challenged ourselves to do things that we'd never created video content ourselves, like actually structured and editing. I had to find a team to be able to do that in-house. We'd never had an accelerator. We'd only done a few workshops and programs, but we lived it. And the Boss Ladies Network was something bigger than we could ever dream because it went across the region. And you know what? I found some team members that were crazy enough to go through it with me and say, hell yeah, we're gonna try this out and we're gonna make it work. And a year later, overworked, overwhelmed, all 3 of these things were launched, developed, successful. We even had a web series that was happening at the same time as Momentum. And I dyed my hair. The girl on the left, I was 23 years old. I was 23 years old wearing a Zara dress that I bought for like $20 and a necklace that I borrowed from my sister and an arm full of travel bracelets that I had worn for 7 years. Bracelets I'd collected. The bracelets were the closest thing that was truth in that image. Everything else that you see was constructed, was what I thought people wanted to see from me and what I thought I had to do to be successful. I thought I had to look professional. I thought I had to act professional. I thought I had to act corporate. I even cut my hair. The girl on the left, This is about a month ago. I stopped caring. I stopped giving a damn. I wanted to have colorful hair, and I wanted to be like Mark Zuckerberg and wear whatever the hell I wanted to my meetings and for me to be taken seriously. And I wanted to stop compromising on my vision of things. And I wanted to stop compromising on my potential and harnessing it in my truest form. Because if I was going to fail, I was going to fail on my terms. I was going to fail giving it my all and being true to myself. But luckily, it's been working out so far. And what I realized was the growth of womena and the journey of growth of womena is actually the journey of growth of its founder. And the patriarchy that I wanted to smash with womena was actually my own patriarchy that I wanted to smash. Coming from an Arab father who was very controlling and very dominant, telling me how I had to be and what I had to do and where I had to go. I wanted to help women in the region to break from their own patriarchies, to be independent, the same independence that I wanted for myself, to get the right guidance that I wish I had at that time. And so I realized that this was the purpose of womena, and this was my purpose. And then I realized this is actually everybody's purpose. Your purpose is not to necessarily smash the patriarchy, but your purpose is based on your experience. Most often than not, the opportunities and problems that you're addressing with your startup and with your company are going to target people like you, who face problems like you. And so your purpose comes from your own experience. You're going to help a younger version of yourself. And now, when we at womena are working with our boss ladies, we see ourselves in them. And hopefully they see themselves in us. And we understand that this is the purpose that we've all been searching for. And if you are currently searching for your purpose, I ask you to look within yourself and the hardships that you faced, and how can you make it better for the next generation so that they don't have to go through the same things. So I was lost. But now I'm a founder. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
So, hi, Elissa. My name is Mark.
Oh,
Big
hi,
fan.
Mark.
So I asked you this question 2 years ago, and I'm super interested to ask you the same question again.
Okay.
So, smashing the patriarchy, female empowerment, name of the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say, or how do you approach the generation of women that have been trapped into the patriarchy narrative, if that's what you want to call it, or if that's what we could call it, for lack of a better term? They truly believe that narrative, and they truly believe that that's where their place is. What would you say to those women now, knowing that you have to go through that cultural barrier?
I think the basic essence of everything that we do is about giving women the right to a choice. They can choose because they have the opportunities in front of them and the chances in front of them to do what they want. The problem with the current system is that it often locks people in a structure that they can't break out of, and doesn't let them know of the opportunities that are ahead of them. You can't be what you can't see. And so if you can't be what you can't see, you're not aware of the options for you. You think, especially in the Middle East, you have to be a lawyer, an engineer, or a doctor. But you can also be an airplane pilot, and you can also be a techie, and you can also open you could be a person who makes pottery. You can do whatever you want, but if you're not aware of it, you're not aware that that's an option for you, right? That is kind of a limiting belief system. But for us, it's about making people aware that they do have a choice to be whatever they want to be, however they want to be. They have that freedom given back to them. And we're building a platform, really, we're building systems, our own structure, to allow for any woman to find her own path based on her decisions. If there are women who are happy within the structure and who genuinely believe that the man is the head of the house and that their role is to make the house a home, etc., that's amazing. Let them believe that, and let that be their truth and their goal and their path. But let them choose it. That's the only thing. Thanks. Cool. Thank you guys.
Elissa Freiha, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.